What's up, VC? I'm going to introduce Gary Higgins, Red Hash, Acid Archives Diaries. Hello, bird. This is the formal introduction to the video I did during the vinyl absorption mega want update. I just wanted to sort of cut that out and make it a proper entry so that it lives in the playlist and everything's happy. And we need an entry for every record, so I figured we'd break that out and add in my original copy, Gary Higgins Red Hash, 1973, on Nufus Moon. Enjoy if you haven't seen it already.
What do you intend to do, young man? Where do you intend to go? Will you take a trip through the deep dark south down into Mexico?
And I still can't believe I have it. Sold at WFMU for a good price, but with a bit of a burnt cover. I put it down, had a chance to buy it, and I decided I was going to do it, and then I went back and it was gone. But I'm happy to have this. This one cost me a little bit more than that price, but I put not a low ball offer, but a heavy discount on what the offer was, and it was coming from Greece, and they accepted it. And boy, am I happy with it. Original pressing of Red Hash by Gary Higgins on the Nufus Moon label. 1973, a Connecticut, essentially psych rocker who was in this band called Random Concept. And they slowly, kind of petered out at the tail end of the 60s. Simon Cox from the Silver Apples was in that band. But he started getting into more folky sounds and recording other demos. Here's the original labels. Of course, I've moved the reissue along, but I kept the 7-inch, which I kind of want to do more of when I'm selling the reissues. I think I might want to keep inserts and bonus things with the original pressing. It's going to bother some people, but I'll sell it for way less. But what a beautiful cover. The condition is wonderful. The record's near mint, so I couldn't be happier with this.
It's often I wish to leave myself, buy some fancy clothes, get on a stretch of a winding road, only my canvas show. Oh, honey, I'll be riding in a Cadillac, must have took an overdose, quicker than a rookie down a railroad track, honey, wasn't even close.
It does even have the lyric insert. So this is like top-notch copy. And like I said, it was more than the copy at FMU, not too much more. But this condition is blowing me away. And this record is a stunning folk album. It's considered an acid psych folk album. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison for weed possession. I guess they were trying to catch someone else, and they ended up with him and his buddy who was in the band with him. And Gary Higgins was sent to prison, and before he went to prison, he was able to make this album. And his buddy who was going to serve time as well with him helped him put this out while he was in prison. So they made 2,500 copies of this, pressed once Gary Higgins was incarcerated. But it is just beautiful songwriting. There's such cool arrangements on this. It's mainly folk, acid folk, out there, sort of like downer folk, stuff like that. But if we list what everyone's helping with here, I believe the band members are listed here. Terry Fenton, organ, piano. Dave Beaujean, electric bass. Jake Bell, also guitar and vocal. Paul Tierney, flute, mandolin, vocal. And Maureen Wells, cello and vocal. So beautiful folk arrangements. Now I did keep, here's the bonus, the 7-inch that came with the reissue, which has a 1975 track and a 1980 track. I decided to keep that. Late Great Sperm Whale and Don't You Know. So I'm keeping out the original issue. and it's just one of my all-time favorite records. I couldn't be happier to have this condition. He would get discovered in the early 2000s by a Drag City staffer who, through Ben Chastney of Six Organs of Admittance, helped track down Gary Higgins, and they reissued this. And Gary Higgins even, they did showcases. He got to perform again, and he started to get all this attention and acclaim, and the reissues were sold out, and so a lot of notoriety has come to Red Hash, and that was his nickname, by the way, in prison. All through that Ben Chastney and Drag City connection. So this record has become quite well known, I think. So the price of these originals has only gone up, but I couldn't be happier with this. And yeah, Ben Chastney really helped bring Gary Higgins some much needed revenue, and even other music has come out from Gary Higgins. So.
Honey wasn't even close. What do you intend to do, young man? Where do you intend to go? Deep dark south down in New Mexico.
But let's see what the Acid Archives has to say about it. This is a top tier. Here we go. Gary Higgins, Connecticut. I think it was from Sharon, Connecticut. Nupus Moon, 1973. Also a CD on Flashback, CD Drag City. Rarity of 1 to 2, and it does say 2,500 pieces. This is by Patrick Lundborg. Highly enjoyable, small-town hippie folk rock with a professional sound, good vocals, and songs full of hooks and strong melodies. A dreamy melancholy dominates, but the sharp arrangements and elaborate production keeps it from ever drifting off. Lyrics deal with dope and being in prison, which is a true story and probably what kept him off major labels. Higgins received a severe 2-year, 9-month sentence for possession of weed, but had time to record this album shortly before going to jail. Red Hash is a nickname he acquired when being in custody. This underrated LP is a favorite of mine and better than almost all the overpriced items in this genre. Personal hit picks include Stable Spuds and the closing Looking for June, but the LP is remarkably strong across the board. Do not miss. Some copies came with promo sheets and newspaper clippings about Higgins' trial from the Acid Archives. This will now exist as a separate video in the Acid Archives Diaries thread, so you're seeing it now first. But anyway, that is Gary Higgins' Red Hash from 1973, Acid Archives Diaries.